and welcome to the cricket show, the Cricket Happening Show with your host Ram. And as far as this Cricket Happening Show is concerned, there was yet another record which was broken in the World Cup, and the man who did that was AB de Villiers. Now, AB de Villiers of South Africa, the South African captain. I mean, what a star he has. I mean, what a star he has been for South Africa. And we know that there are many more records to tumble, no doubt. And World Cup continues to see a lot of records being smashed. As AB de Villiers went on to smash 162 unbeaten runs of just 62 delivery, 162 of just 66 deliveries to 162 of just 66 deliveries with 17 fours and 8 sixes, and in doing so he also had the proud honor. Now he actually holds the record in one-day internationals of scoring the fastest century, as you would remember, against West Indies of 31 balls. He also holds the record for the fastest 50 against West Indies, and yesterday he added a third dimension onto it when he went on to slam the West Indies bowlers for 106 for the fastest 50 in one-day international cricket, as he slammed 150 runs of just 64 balls to eclipse the record that was held by the Australian cricket player Shane Watson, who had did this to Bangladesh when he scored 150 against them of 83 balls. So it was by a mile that actually AB de Villiers cleared that record, and now AB de Villiers is the one who actually holds the record for the fastest 50 in one-day internationals, fastest 100 in one-day internationals of 31 balls, and now today another record was written into the record books of World Cup cricket, as AB de Villiers smashed 150 runs of just 64 balls to now hold the record for the three most important landmarks. And now I wouldn't be surprised if the day comes where AB de Villiers goes on to score the fastest double century in one-day internationals and put Chris Gale's record of West Indies into the shade. And another very pertinent thing that, dear friends and subscribers, one must note is all those three centuries, the record that AB de Villiers holds is now against the West Indies. He has done his fastest 50s against the West Indies, his fastest centuries against the West Indies, his fastest 150s against the West Indies, and West Indies is something that he would really carry home. So that is the way he actually relishes the West Indian attack. So South Africa, with that very breathtaking knock from AB de Villiers of 162 of 66 balls, actually went on to a very big score. In fact, as you know, in ICC, in World Cups, the highest total that has been scored by a team against any opposition is standing in the name of India. India made 413 runs in the World Cup against Bermuda, and now it just fell 5 runs short of that. So basically it is the second highest total in World Cups. And not only that, so that took South Africa to 408 for 5 of their 50 overs, and the West Indies were totally, I would say, swept under the carpet there, as South Africa went on to register a very enormous win over the West Indies by an innings and by 257 runs, and that was pretty huge, as the West Indies were really found wanting, with only Jason Holder doing something of note, with making 56 of 48 balls with 3 fours and 4 6, but to no avail, and Wayne Smith at the top contributing 31, and West Indies were all out for 151. As I said, South Africa sweeping West Indies under the carpet and registering a very huge win by 257 runs margin. And as I said, AB de Villiers was the talking point. There was no doubt about that. So just looking at this particular match as it panned out, the toss was actually won by South Africa, who decided that they would choose to bat first at this very wonderful Sydney Cricket Ground. It was the 19th match of Pool B, and well, the start for West Indies, the start was pretty good. There was definitely, we saw that the ball was having some good carry. There was some very good bounce in the pitch. We saw when the initial bowlers Jerome Taylor and Jason Holder were bowling, and Jerome Taylor and the West Indian captain Jason Holder was bowling in the right areas. They were really getting the ball to really kick up from a good lying spot, and life was not easy for the batsman. Even though Quinton de Kock played two confident strokes through the offside for boundaries, Hashim Amla also was struggling, and runs were not easy to come by. Jerome Taylor went on to bowl a maiden in the second over. Jason Holder started off with a maiden over, and South Africa were really struggling as runs were not easy to come by. With basically in the sixth over, the score stood at 18. Hashim Amla was also really tested, I thought, by the bounce, as he had to be watchful, and that was a very phase of the innings where South African openers were very watchful. But then finally, Quinton de Kock came out with a frustration stroke trying to pull a ball from Jason Holder. Russell picking up the catch. That was the first wicket for the West Indies. Quinton de Kock gone for 12 of 19 balls with 3 fours. It was a very good effort by the West Indies bowlers, I thought. And then du Plessis came in and joined Hashim Amla. Hashim Amla continued. I mean, Hashim Amla, one saw that Hashim Amla couldn't really get on with those flowing strokes that he's known for. As I said, there was some good bounce on the pitch. The West Indies bowlers were really bowling well, and Hashim Amla had to really work for his runs. Du Plessis, on the other hand, slowly tried to, he tried to play around with Hashim Amla, and both really did a good job, I thought, by putting on a very good partnership, which actually had the South African score looking a bit. They definitely did the hard work, and they had taken the score to 145 in the 30th over. But definitely they were short of runs, but that didn't really matter. But then finally Chris Gayle came in and picked up 2 wickets on the trot. He first dismissed du Plessis, who was caught behind of Gayle after making 62 of 70 deliveries with 3 fours, and then he also sent Hashim Amla on his way, as he had him LBW for 65. Not a convincing innings from Amla, I thought. 65 of 88 balls with 1 4 and 1 6, and South African score stood at 146 for 3. That heralded that saw the entry of 2 new batsmen. There were 2 new batsmen at the crease at that time, with Willie Roseau and A.B. de Villiers. And as you know, the run rate was not looking so pretty, and West Indies had everything under control. But once once Roseau and A.B. de Villiers were at the crease, suddenly things started changing, and the impetus was provided by really Roseau by playing some flashing strokes through the offside. He was pretty impressive. He was the one who started it all. A.B. de Villiers still, I would say, was still playing in a very calm manner. Even after his 50, he was still playing in a calm manner, and he exploded only after reaching his century. Till such time, we saw A.B. de Villiers was really sussing up the situation, and he was really playing in a very sedate manner, because he was allowing really Roseau to actually go on and do all the scoring, and the partnership suddenly started getting momentum, as both really Roseau and A.B. de Villiers started smacking fours, and especially A.B. de Villiers also trying to go aerial. And the score, once again, there was another partnership that built in, and this was a quicker partnership. In 13 overs, they added 134 runs, and really Roseau, as I said, was very impressive with his flashy stroke play. And then finally Roseau, after playing a pretty good hand of making 61 of 39 balls with 6 fours and 1 6, was a goner. After that, A.B. de Villiers totally took over, and he started smashing the West Indian bowling to all parts of the ground. In fact, all his reverse sweeps were coming into the picture. His switch hits, he was really putting the ball over the fine leg in a beautiful manner. And A.B. de Villiers, as you know, he can manufacture strokes out of nothing, and the West Indian bowlers had to really wilt under the pressure of A.B. de Villiers' blade. as he kept on smashing runs in his own inimitable way. And David Miller was out for 20. And then, as I said, A.B. de Villers, once he reached his century, he was absolutely unstoppable. He went on pinging the boundary lines over and above. He kept on doing that with customary regularity. And Jason Holder, the West Indian captain, was really carted. He was hit for 30 runs in the final over of the South African innings, and absolutely Jason Holder went on to register the worst figures ever by any single bowler in World Cup when he leaked 104 runs with 1 wicket to his name, 10 overs and 2 maidens. Jerome Taylor disappeared, 8 overs, 1 maiden, none for 64. Russell was carted, 9 overs for 74 runs and 2 wickets. Samuels, 2 overs for 14. Suleiman Ben, who played today, was also really received some very severe punishment from the bat of A.B. de Villiers. 10 overs, went for 79. Darren Sammy, 7 overs, none for 50. Gale, 4 overs, no maiden, 2 for 21. As de Villiers went on smashing, he went on to smash the record that was held by Shane Watson. As I said, A.B. de Villiers now holds the record for the fastest 50, 100 and 150 in one-day international cricket, as he made 150 of just 64 balls, and he was really going in a smashing fashion, and there was no stopping about it. Jason Holder got the tap, as I said, 30 runs of the final over. A.B. de Villiers finishing with an unbeaten 162 to his name of just 66 deliveries, with 17 fours and 8 wonderful sixes that was hit by him. David Miller was out for 20, and Behardine remained not out on 10 of 5 balls with 1 6, 408 all out. South Africa putting up the second highest total in World Cup history. And not only that, look at the way that A.B. de Villiers played. In fact, look at the score, 146 for 3 when Hashim Amla departed. And look at what damage A.B. de Villiers did to the West Indies bowling, as out of the last 20 overs, South Africa scored 261 runs, and I thought that was something very enormous hitting by A.B. de Villiers. And finally, South Africa finishing up at 408 for 5 of the 50 overs. Let's have a look at the West Indies innings now. West Indies started off, there would have been a lot of expectation when Chris Gayle walked to the crease after that record-breaking double century that he hit in the previous game. There would have been a lot of expectations, but Chris Gayle definitely couldn't live up to the expectations, as it was very essential that Chris Gayle had to reproduce something of that sort today, if at all West Indies should have stood a chance to chase that very huge target of 409 runs to win. Chris Gayle was an early victim, as Kyle Abbott got Gale's leg stump going, and he was gone for 3 or 4 balls. Marlon Samuels was also a victim of Kyle Abbott, as he was caught behind of the bowling of Abbott for naught, and West Indies had a dismal start with the score reading 16 for 2. After that, Brain Smith was there at the other end, played a few strokes, but then Jonathan Carter, coming into the team, was dismissed by Morkel for 10 of 20 balls with 1-4. And after that, from the pace bowlers, it was Imran Tahir, the leg spinner, who totally took over, as he kept on dismantling the West Indies innings in a very I would say in a sort of a very consistent fashion. As first he dismissed Dwayne Smith, who was caught Miller bowled Imran Tahir for 31 of 34 balls with 4 fours and 1 6, and the pressure was so much that West Indies probably were trying to target Imran Tahir for actually getting their runs, as he was a leg spinner, but that particular ploy definitely couldn't come to fruition, as the West Indies batsmen started losing their wickets to Imran Tahir. Dinesh Ramadan was bowled by Imran Tahir for 22 of 47 balls with 2 fours. Dendell Simmons was LBW bowled Imran Tahir for a duck. Sammy got stumped by a Deacock of the bowling of Imran Tahir for 5, and Andre Russell was caught Abbott bowled Imran Tahir for knock, and that really, once Andre Russell left the scene, there was absolutely no firepower left. But Jason Holder continued to fight, and he could contribute only 56 runs of 48 balls with 3 fours and 4 sixes. That was good to see. Steen picked up his wicket. Jerome Taylor was not out on 15. Ben was not out on 1. And West Indies, as I said, was totally swept under the carpet by these marauding South Africans, as the total proved too huge for the West Indies shoes, and the West Indies all out for 151, and South Africa registering a very huge win in the World Cup by 257 runs. And looking at the bowling figures as far as the South Africans were concerned, Dale Steyn 7 overs no maiden, 1 wicket for 24 runs bowled well. Kyle Abbott provided the double breakthrough of getting Gale and Samuels early, 8 overs no maiden, 2 for 37. Morley Morkel 5.1 overs no maiden, 23 runs and 2 wickets. Imran Tahir, as I said, was the one who totally dismantled the West Indies innings, as West Indies thought he was the person to be targeted, but Imran Tahir was too smart for it. 10 overs 2 maidens, 45 runs. He picked up a 5 wicket bag, and I'm sure this is the first 5 wicket bag for Imran Tahir in World Cups. And Du Plessis 3 overs none for 17. Match over. Ab de Villers for his smashing knock of 162 of just unbeaten knock of 162 of just 66 deliveries was named player of the match. Match ending, as I said, South Africa registering a huge victory. Well, so that is as far as that particular. There was only one match which played, but today there are 2 matches which are coming up, and one is a Trans-Tasman clash, and as we all know, this is a rivalry which is known in cricket. We call it the Trans-Tasman rivalry. That's going to be between Australia and New Zealand, and the match is going to be played at Eden Park. There's been a lot of talk going on about Eden Park, that the ground is pretty small, and we are probably going to see 4s and 6s raining from the bats of the batsmen, and we are looking out for a very high scoring affair at Eden Park in Auckland. And well, I would say whichever team has the power to hit boundaries and clear the ropes would be the winner in Eden Park, Auckland. So, but we are definitely looking out for a real Trans-Tasman clash, and both the teams are evenly matched. So that is one match which is coming up today, and India would be playing on the United Arab Emirates today. So they take on the United Arab Emirates today. So India would be taking on the United Arab Emirates. So that is another game which is coming up, and India would like to definitely keep their record intact of having won all the matches here in World Cup 2015. And well, that is going to be another match which is coming up. So these 2 matches, I'll be doing the match summaries tomorrow. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I'm really happy for the response that I'm seeing in this World Cup. I mean, you guys really contributing a lot to this cricket show, getting me going here, getting my adrenaline flowing on this cricket show. Thanks for your continuous company to this cricket show, Cricket Happenings. Your host Ram would like to leave, and we'll be seeing you all tomorrow with the two match summaries. Until then, it's goodbye for the day. Thank you.